them and not to be tricked. But I just want to be transparent. My role here is not to give you some knowledge that you can use as a magic stick and with some sweetie sentences raise a couple of millions, because this is not how it works, unfortunately. But yeah, I think that only magic stick that someone can have is a good company, investable business, and yeah, other knowledge is good, but not must to have. And everybody should concentrate on building something really valuable, and this is the best investor magnet, based on my opinion. However, there is 2 points that I would love to cover. First of all, unfortunately, there is some investable companies that don't raise money since they know how to communicate with investors. This is the problem, and this is something that I want to cover. And second point is that I want to cover option where you are tricked, you know, because VC know how to play the games. Their main job is to negotiate, decrease valuation, and have some tricky games that can be very damaging to the founders. So, complete point of this presentation is that you just be prepared when you enter in this process, okay? Okay. So yeah, okay, not a good start. Let's see what's happened. Pop. Kako uvijek biva, desni. Aj sad. Onako.
I think that, okay, it works. Yeah, next slide.
No. Aha, okay, sorry. Yeah, this is me in a younger age without beer. So this is when we start, and I don't want to bother you about myself, but I want to tell you that I have opportunity to be in a venture and playing 3 different roles. First one as a broker, what give me opportunity to see a lot of fundraising processes. This is the first thing. Second is about the CEO of my company, where I know about the pressure that people have running businesses and also seeking for the finance. And third, in the last 6 months, also playing the role of investors, where I understand right now what's happened with founder pitch me and what is the important for me when somebody sharing this, sharing information about the company. So this is the my first role as a broker. I'm helping companies raise venture debt. Do you know somebody what is the venture debt? Yep. Can you help me?
Well, I think you know better than me.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, you know, to using very simple terms, venture debt in some cases is the instrument where non-already profitable companies with a good metric can receive a loan, because banks have some specific terms that some company have to accomplish, and the venture debt is a very good instrument that growing company can save some ownership, receive capital, use for further scaling, and receiving in a type of loan. So yeah, we find a very interesting gap, and because of that, this is our focus. However, as an investor, I'm co-founder of a syndicate group. We are investing in a Series A and Series B deals that usually have some AI implementation in their businesses. We are writing check for 300K to 2 million, depends on the stage and depends on investment profile. And yeah, you know, all this experience helped me to understand the whole processes and how it works in fundraising, and this knowledge I plan to share with you today. Okay? Okay, good. And also I would love to have some interaction, because we will cover some basics, something that you know, something that you don't know. And this is not one-way rule for fundraising. If you disagree with something, please share. I would love to hear everybody's opinion, because this is the best way how we can create together a complete picture about all this process. Okay. Okay, are we done with me? Okay. First thing that we will cover is who are VC investors. Okay? I had a very interesting situation around 2 years ago. I worked with a company that have $500,000 in annual revenue. Seed company already raised some funds. you know, they entry into the DACH area, have a good potential, already strong contracted revenue, and they wanted to raise a seed round. Now, they make a complete plan to raise money from VCs, okay? And I speak with the founders and told founder, okay, listen, first name, I have a very good relations with one fund. I help their GPs to find an LPs, and they are very soon have a first closing. And when they have a first closing, I will love to negotiate with them that the first money they receive invest in your company. And okay, plan can work. However, this founder asked me a question that I cannot believe that he asked me. And he asked me, okay, but who are LPs? And I was thinking, okay, nobody knows everything. This is good. But if you go deeper, imagine somebody create a plan of the company that only depends on the capital they want to raise from VC, and he doesn't know how VC works. And if you look at the statistic, why more than 90% don't raise capital? They don't know how other party think, work, and this is the problem. You want to propose a girlfriend and don't know where she lives. This is, you know, this is the exactly things. So my question for you is, do you know how VC is structured?
They get money from LPs, which they invest
Okay.
into businesses. They sell those businesses, and then they return money after 5 years.
Nice. Thanks. Thanks. Who are usually LPs?
Pension funds, essentially any entity that has a lot of money. That can be either private
Family
investors,
office.
that can be
Family office, exactly.
yeah.
Who else?
Maybe private investors.
Exactly. You know, a lot of private investors, when they sell a big company, they also can create family office to deploy through the entity. But yeah, private people that have money. And when you think about it, so we pitch somebody who doesn't invest their own money, right? And this is the first point that a lot of founders doesn't know. So, okay, I have problem with this one. VC generally invest very small amount of money of the fund. You can find some emerging managers that are building first one where they invest 1% of the full fund. So for example, if they raise $10 million funds, they can invest only 1% of that amount, and everything else.
Deal, right?
No, for the fund. For example, I want to create a VC fund, and I want that VC fund is a $10 million fund. I can put 1% as a check from my own, and all 99% I want to raise from other people that are LPs. So if you think about it, VCs operate like a startup. You know, they have a vintages, fund 1, fund 2, fund 3, fund 4, who knows, fund 7, and startups have a round, okay? But principle is the very same. VC have a use of funds, that is an investment thesis that we will speak soon, and startup have their use of funds where they will deploy money and in what direction they will grow. And this is the very important for you to know when you pitch VC, that they have some obligation. Money is not there. They cannot gambling with money. You know, they really need to follow some rules. So in some cases, when you are rejected by VC, maybe you are outside of the rules, okay? And I want to explain you how fund battle. So how fund is structured? We have a VC firm. Let's use a simple example. VC firm are the company where are all position are work. For example, there are positions like principal, managing partner, general partner, analyst, associate, all those positions, they are working in the fund, in a firm. And now, what is the next step? Imagine 4 of us work in a VC firm. My background is in Web3. Your background is Solana specifically. Your background is in Web3. Your. And we think, okay, let's now, since we have a good background in the Web3 space, define the thesis and agree between each other that we will invest in Web3 deals that are pre-seed, seed stage, that have a global ambition, and that are, yeah, this is our thesis where we want to invest, okay? And we want to raise $10 million funds. What we do then? We define this thesis where we will invest. After that, with this thesis, we come to the LPs, people with the money, and told them, LPs, we want to invest in startups with this thesis, please give us money, okay? And based on this thesis, these funds operate. I don't want to speak about exception where fund can deploy outside of thesis, but we need to know that they are obligated to invest in a scope that they promise to the LPs. And this is very important to know, because when you understand the rules, you will easily disqualify the VC. It's not for you. There is a lot of VC, a lot of money out there. Don't need to be attracted to one specific fund that is not for you. Okay? Okay, good. So, again.
I have a question.
Please.
If we can go back to that slide.
Sure.
So there's those fund providers and there's the thesis. But do VCs usually provide some sort of insurance
Okay.
regarding like
For your Sven. It's his
Thanks.
first time.
Thanks.
Please give him a
Thanks.
round of applause.
so do they usually provide some sort of insurance to give them the sense of safety of this money is not going to go to zero?
Yeah, you know, good question. Venture is a generally very risky game. This is a first of all, and everybody who invests in a venture need to be aware of that. But there is some kind of insurance where, but this is a specifics, where GP promised to LPs the only way where the GP can earn money is when they make them, for example, 8%. And there is a threshold, and only when VC returns are on that threshold, after that GP can earn money. Okay? And second policy is experience, track record. When somebody already have a fund, they do something, this is the best experience. But beside that, yeah, this is a good thing how GP can raise money. And literally, they can sell that. I can only make money if you make money. So, yeah. But good question. Thank you for asking. Okay. So, how they usually earn money? This is also important for you to understand. For example, if there is a two ways, first is a management fee, 2%, okay? And second is a carry interest. Management fee of 2% is used to cover all expenses, salaries, legal obligation, traveling, and everything that is necessary that VC operate. And for example, if VC is a $100 million fund, every year they will receive $2 million as a management fee to cover all expenses. But this is not where is the money and why they entering into the VC. The second thing is a carry interest, which is a 20%. 20% is the earning what they will get after they return money to investors. Using simple explanation, if they have 100 million, invest in a lot of startups, end up fund with a 300 million, VC earns 20% of the earning that they make to the fund, okay? In this case, earning is 200 million, so VC make 400 millions. So this is how they work. And if they are good, they are good. You know, if they bring a 200 million back, they will earn a good of money. But it is important that carry is something where they are most exciting about. And since this is their business model, you need to be aware in what game are you currently in. Please.
Sorry for interrupting.
No, please.
On the previous slide again, you get 2% out of the 100 million fund
Yes.
every year. What if the fund is 10 years? Do you still like get 2 million
Yes.
for 10 years?
Yes.
Or
Exactly.
it doesn't compound,
And funds are usually 7 to 10 years,
which makes sense.
which makes sense,
Yeah.
you know.
But the second year is still 2 million?
2 million.
98
It's
million.
exactly not 2% of 98. It's a fixed 2 million.
Okay. So they are on fire to actually
They are on fire.
raise
Exactly.
funds.
Yes, exactly. And we will touch this topic. Good question. Very soon when we speak about big funds. You know, if you have $20 billion funds and 2% management fee, you know, exit is good, but 400 million is also good. Yep. So, yeah, okay. And now, sorry, we had a little technical problem about present. It's okay, okay. So, yeah, this is the game you're playing, and this is important to understand where are you at the moment. If fund is a $60 million fund, they usually current metric for LPs is a 4x, MOIC of 4. This is the money on investment capital, and LPs want to get 4x, which makes sense. After 7 years, 4x, you know. So 60 million you need to make on a startup's 240 million. It's a good task. However, we mentioned 2% come to the management fee, so you lose 8.5 million only on a salaries and expenses. And second thing, every VC have a money for a follow-on. I don't know if you know about what is a follow-on. This is the money reserved for a best performing companies, so they can double down if the company operate well. And every VC practices this to have around 20% for a follow-on. So VC have 39 million in the practice to make 240. You know, so it's a not easy task to make. So let's use this example. If they have 39 million and they invest 2 million per company, they need this company to grow very high, and every investor wants to invest the company that can return the whole fund. This is the game. I disagree with something, but this is how they think. This is a risky investment, and they want to make 100x on investment. So, for example, if they invest in company with 2 million on some price of around 15 million valuation, they want that this company grow to 2 billion and exited this, so they can return the whole fund, okay? And with whole dilution in the process, they will have 5%, since it's a lot of new round that dilute current shareholders and everything. So this is their goal. My question for you is, do you want this tempo? Since this is a tempo, it's a really big tempo. They are not investors that want to give you money and tell, okay, let's have a good dividends, let's travel together. No, they want hardcore doing business and sell company in 5 to 7 years. This is how they think. And for that, you need big TAM and SAM, more than 1 billion definitely. You need mostly software these days that is very scalable, that want to have a lot of users to get the valuation of 1 billion or 2 billion and to have a good multiples.
Sorry, what is TAM and SAM?
Total addressable market.
Okay.
This is, for example, if you want to have a target at fintech or some banks, total market of the banks, and a serviceable addressable market is a market for your exact service.
Okay.
And if you ask me, serviceable addressable market is a more
Tangible.
yes, definitely. This TAM is okay, you know, whole fintech, who cares? It is important how many users for your service you have. Exactly. And what you really need is a 3x year-on-year growth in this early stage. So you need to grow for 500,000 to 1.1 million in 1 year. After that, from 1.1 to almost 5. And yeah, this is, if you want to pitch a VC, you need to be ready for that. Now, question for you is, do you have this business and do you need it? This is only for you. VCs have a lot of potential, they have a lot of infrastructure, but you need to work very hard and they will give you a lot of KPIs that goes in this direction. Because why? They have a pressure for LPs. So you decide. I don't want to tell you what to do, but you need to be aware of the real facts, what is happening if you raise from a VC. Now, what is the VC case? And what you need to ask yourself, first of all, is my solution a truly scalable or more regional business? First question, there is a lot of good businesses that are great for the Balkans, for example. Some innovation that can target a Balkans companies, good, but this is not a VC case. You will not raise money if you only can enter into the Serbia, Croatia. It's not interesting for that, it's not a big enough market. Do you want to scale 100x in the next 5 to 7 years? It will take a lot of time and of course good rewards. Do you want to reinvest all money back in the company, not receive profit, have a small salary, and have always somebody on the board meeting with a goal for you to massive growth? And this is a real question for you and Mirror, literally to ask and decide what is the best step. Now, what is the interesting? I entered into this industry after 2022, where the VC winter start. I don't know if you know, but investment in 2021 were not the same as the current one. It was much more easier to raise money, much more. And from that moment, we have a lot of information that I will cover, but this is the thing on your question, and it's a very good question. For example, does somebody hear about Andreessen Horowitz?
Yeah, of course.
Yes, of course. So they're one of the biggest fund. And they recently raised one AI fund that have some small private equity play, but this is on a different topic. $20 billion fund. So, based on your question, Andreessen Horowitz have 400 million per year on a management fee, which is good. So, they need to make a 3x for LPs, only 3x. They need to have exit value of the portfolio $640 billion.
Wow.
Wild. Wild. And
Just a bit more louder.
I will. And
Sit down.
no, I'm in the mood right now. No, maybe later. And and value of the top VC-backed IPOs of all time is of 20% lower than their current target. So math is officially broken, and a lot of LPs notice that, and this is the reason why a lot of VC have a problem to raise funds right now. And you as a startup founders need to be aware that person that bring you money have a problem. This is a very important information for all of you. What's happened also after the winter, so drop of investment 50%, too much. We have AI hype, but still 50% lower investment than before. LPs have a lot of alternatives when they want to invest money, which makes sense. Marco, 7x, 4x in 10 years. You can make easily, 4x for a lower period of time. So we see now pitch a different point, with some individuals who exited company in a music space and they are raising for the audio music VC. They told them, yeah, you're LP, the industry, invest, help me, you will have other benefits and everything. But based on the math, it's not working. Also, big VC are shifting to the PE style models. There is a lot of VCs that want to switch and raising now to invest in later stage companies, to have some leverage buyout, and to do a merger and acquisition.
Sorry, what is PE style?
Private equity style.
Okay.
Private equity style. They some buying majority of the companies, taking control stake and all these things. And next thing, what is born is a micro VC. Micro VC, And the reason I want to speak about them is that all regional VCs are micro VC. Okay, have some exception, but generally there's all funds between 10 million and 50 million, 30 million. So smaller than a 20 billion, definitely. So yeah, next thing is the bootstrapping until the seed is become totally normal, which I like. Now we have as toughest founders that need to build a business first, and after that use a VC money as a fuel for growth, not just have a deck, receive money, and after that traveling or whatever. So they need to make a good business and after that attract money. And venture debt is back, which I personally very like to hear that, and become very more popular. Because there is a micro VC that are interesting in an earlier stage. First, some growth stage VC want to become in a private equity domain, and there will be a gap, Series A, B companies, that will find much more benefits in raising debt, save ownership, raise more money, increase valuation, and after that receive new VC money on a lower valuation. So this is my prediction. I'm wrong, maybe wrong, but this is what I notice at the moment. So here is the situation of micro VC, how we work. So I make a research, and usual exit in South and Eastern Europe is 40 million. Okay, this is the usual exit. We have some exemption that sell company for 200 million, and also somebody who sell for 10 million, which is okay. However, me and my partner, we want to raise now micro VC here in Serbia, and want to invest in a company, help them scale on a US market, and only based on a different geography, make a multiple for our investors. This is our strategy. So what we need to, what situation we have? After management fees and follow on, we have 6 million to invest in a companies. We want to invest, average is 1 million per company, where we have a board seed and help them scale. So we are targeting 25% of the company. After all dilution, we will have 15%. So we have a fund on 10 million. To make 40 million, 4x, we don't need 600 billion. We only need one company that is a little lower than 250 million to return our investors 4x. Okay? So when you pitch regional VC, you can pitch $250 million exit. This is okay. It's a very big difference, the $2 billion that you need to pitch. 10 times difference. It's not small. And because of that, because with a smaller exit, in the same market, you can easily return money to the LPs. And you will see, if you track a little, you will see a lot of micro VCs that easily raise than a big VC. Okay? Any question?
I have a question. So we have 35% target stake in investing, and then we have 15
Yes.
after dilution. Where is that 10% going?
For example, if I invest in your company to 1 million and you give me 25%, he come invest in the company 3 million, and after that you don't only give him an ownership. We proportionally, as a company, give him an ownership.
Okay.
So he to take a new 20%, I will lose from 20% to 21%. After that, there is a Series B. Somebody entry 30 million. I will lose more because we proportionally give shares to the new investors. And after that, I use an example. It can vary from a lot of different things, but it end up on 15% on the selling. Okay? Please.
And the $250 million exit you're talking about, this is pretty much getting investment from outside of Serbia.
Of course.
And like just taking that.
Of course. You know, our strategy is simple. We, for example, when we invest in companies in Serbia, we incorporate them in Delaware. When we incorporate them, company make 2.5x, literally because it's a not Serbia company, it's a company that have offices in Delaware. or San Francisco. And after that, we help them entry on a US market, help from a US investors. And they only have Serbian founders and somebody who started from a Serbian garage, you know, build a company, and after that, everything else is international. Because multiple years, with all this political situation, current situation in Serbia, it's not good, definitely, and this is the reason why people want to enter. DACH area, UK, US, China, Latin, all ecosystems have a better climate than ours. This is the fact. Okay. So now, beside VCs, I want to tell you three similar type of investors you know. First of all is a CVC. Does somebody know what is the CVC? Okay. CVC is a corporate venture fund. For example, when a big corporation like Google, recently Red Bull, become an LP and invest, for example, $50 million, open an entity that will be run by professionals, and they invest in companies that can help have some strategic alignment to the corporation that open a fund. Nowadays, to be honest, a lot of CVCs, BMW have VC, Mercedes have, Google have CVCs that invest in Series A and B deals, but also that are buying companies that have strategic alignment from Google. So this is a good thing when you are more mature. In a pre-seed and seed, it's not the best, but when you have infrastructure, good product, CVC can be very, very helpful.
Are they more strict than usual VCs?
To be honest, depends. It's their main criteria. For example, how BMW works. They invest in the automotive space, okay? And they, for example, 2 years ago, they was very strict. They need to find alignment with the BMW and bring them a solution, which is a great thing for BMW as a corporation. Make money and find a good product that can improve their business. Perfect. However, nowadays, they can be flexible. I recently have a coffee with principal of Yandex Venture, Yango Venture, and they told me, no, we want to invest in startups to explore the market.
Okay.
So, depends. Okay. However, there is some rule, but it also can be very flexible. Syndicate Group, I am co-founder of a syndicate group, and how we work. We have LPs, for example, 100 LPs, but we don't have a fund. We find a good company. After that, reach out to our LPs and say, okay, this is a good deal because of that. You can make this amount of money. Do you want to invest? 40 people said yes, and everybody want to put 10K check. We collect this 400K, open a legal entity, form it as a fund, and invest one check or 400K directly into the company. So we are shareholders, okay? We have, 5% ownership. We are managing money for our LPs, and in the end of all profit we make, we take 20% for us. Exactly the carry. This is what brings us. So if this 400K become a 4 million, we will return 400K to our LPs, and from 360 million, we have 20% for us.
So instead of finding first the liquidity providers and bringing all the money, creating the fund, you pretty much find the company and say, I want a fund for this company.
Exactly.
So it's the opposite.
Yeah. Everything has a pros and cons. However, I like this because one big exit, you really feel it. In some cases, one big exit in the fund is just put the balance for all those dead companies. And you have a $2 billion exit and earn 3x. In syndicate, if you enter and have a $2 billion exit, you will make a lot of money. This is the difference. However, it is the problem because you can find deal and your LP said, I don't like it. And you know that it's good, but you speak with individuals. So, yeah, we have also ambition to build a fund beside the one that I mentioned you, but at the beginning, at this stage, this is a good way to build a track record. To prove that other people can give you a lot of more money and you can have a more control of this money. Family office, do you want me to help to explain? You mentioned you know what is the family office, right?
Oh, you can.
Yeah, I can explain. Okay. Okay. So yeah, for example, somebody sell a company for 200 million and thought, okay, I want to invest right now in a startups. This particular person invests their own money and hire professionals to manage this money. However, this person, or in some cases whole family, is in charge for decision. So in that case, usually if somebody sold company in fintech, they will invest in fintech, usually. However, Marco, they are more flexible. They are more flexible.
I heard that NBA stars are doing family office.
Exactly. For example, one of our, I think the best our fund managing money for Antetokounmpo. Kevin Hart and Antetokounmpo. They all have funds, you know, because why not? They have a lot of money and they just make more. So, yeah, okay, this is about that. And for this part, I want to finish with investment thesis. I mentioned that. And how, as I explained earlier, what is investment thesis? This is a set of rules that fund need to follow because when they raise, they promise to LPs. Okay? And those investment thesis usually looks like that. For example, fund size is 100 million. We invest in C2 Series A, Europe, North America. B2B SaaS, fintech, climate. We invest 1 to 5 million. We want this ownership. We are lead, co-lead. There are other things that they need to follow. And what is the very important for all you to know, that when you see that somebody have a set of rules, if you are healthcare from India, why to lose time? You will not raise money. There is always exemption. For example, a lot of funds, around 10% can deploy outside of their thesis. But it's not for regular first-time founder. It's a setup when he have a problem with the fund and some third-time founder exited, call him after he get a warm intro and told him, listen, we have a good company, let's invest there. This is impossible. However, when somebody have a lot of track record and trust. And nobody should base fundraising strategy based on exemption. Maybe in 20 years when you sell 2 companies, you can do this, but at this stage, you should follow this. Okay. And now we will enter into the practice. I hope that this was useful about how we see work, because before we start pitching, we need to understand with who we speak. This is the first thing. And yeah, you know, I put the fundraising is a B2B sales, which is it, with some specifics, you know. For example, I didn't ask, my bad, is anybody here a pre-seed or seed founder? Great. So for how long are you building a company? How long you think about it?
3 years.
3 years. Congrats. And for example, if somebody told you that your company suck, if somebody told you at the beginning, for example, maybe you're raising for some time, but this can be hard, right?
Yeah, especially if it's the first time.
Yes. Because, you know, you are investing in a lot of time, a lot of emotion, a lot of hustle to build something good. And there is some VC who said, he didn't check the deck and just told you that you will fail. And this is their job, to test you how proof you are in what you're building.
To be honest, your first deck will probably suck, definitely.
Definitely.
So it's a good feedback anyways, yeah.
And this is a good mindset. This is the good mindset. Last week, I had a situation where one founder started fighting with VCs after get the feedback. He get a no, and he sent a big email with explanation why VCs suck. And It's crazy. I cannot believe why people do this. I understand it can be very hard when somebody explains, especially when somebody who knows and explain you in the right way why your company will fail. It can be, yeah. So this is about that. Next, I have one theory and what I think that is a successful fundraising. Successful fundraising is alignment with fund investment thesis plus trust. Okay? Now, when you are a first-time founder, how you build a trust with a VC?
Maybe by talking with them and like
Okay.
sending updates.
Okay.
Getting the mentor.
Good, yeah. This can help, please.
Maybe growing, like if you're still growing in technical knowledge, maybe even working for them part-time. Because you grow the trust that way.
This is good. Only thing there is, for example, you can work with a couple of them, maybe part-time, and there is a lot of others. But good point. And a lot of, for example, ex-VCs that enter into the founder shoes, they can have easily money because VC know them and know that they are capable. So it's a good point. It's a good point.
Having a strong team,
Yes.
having like your coworker will be very strong.
Okay. Definitely. Team is very important. Yes, yes, exactly. This is a good for war. In private people ask for advice, not money. First thing, give me money. Somebody else. Okay.
Also revenues, go to market.
Yeah, it's a good. But for example, revenue can be also thesis. We invest in companies that have more than 1 million. Okay, but you need to prove that you are capable. And the best way how to do this is if you're opening seed round in 6 months, you need to start raise now. Because I will tell you why. There is a lot of plans I see that just decided that they need money. Okay? Yeah. I need money. Good. Me too. And now what's happening? They need money, and this is usually a situation where they have 4 months, and after that they are dead. Okay? And what's happening there? I pitch Marco. Marco said, okay, you're interesting, send me the financials. And when I sent financials to Marco, in what position is he?
Better position.
Better position. He know that after 4 months, I'm broke. And after that, there is some stupid excuse. I have a vacation. Our analyst is sick. Let's discuss and have a lot of calls and exchange a lot of documents. And I was okay. Let's do it. After 2 months, I have 2 months, and after that, all 3 years that I invested in emotional connection with the companies can be damaged. And Marco again, okay, let's speak. And after 1 month, I don't have any other choice. And after that, Marco can tell me, okay, sounds good, but valuation 50% lower. I need to accept this. You know, when you hear horror stories that somebody lose control, left out, lose a lot of money in the beginning, those people are not stupid. We love them. They are not prepared. They are not prepared. And this is the whole reason. They are not prepared for the game they're playing. And after that, they're out of the business, their fault. Not VC, you know, this is how they think. This is a normal. We just need to expect that this is how the things work. However, if you're a pre-seed company and want to raise seed in 6 months, start now. Prepare a list of the funds that are relevant for your entry into the seed phase and reach out to them. Reach out, hey, I see a good portfolio company is yours. This should be true. Give some comment. Tell what you are building, and after that, update them from some time. Why? Because your job is that when you enter into the stage where you are aligned with their criteria, that you already have a trust. Okay? Because who can trust you after 1 month? Okay, we now speak, but You know, I cannot give you my money and risk LP on my head to run me because I invest in somebody who lose money on the stupid thing. I don't trust you, I don't give you money. This is how it works. Money is reserved for a people I trust. This is the also reason why some people can raise money on the free calls. This is how it works. Somebody who exited company, who know a lot of people. For example, if I want to raise with Marco, do you think that I will send Marco a pitch deck?
No.
Marco, coffee, now. We go in the coffee, discuss, see, he trusts me, I told you, believe me. We already did it. You know? This is how it works, you know, because what is the very interesting, the VC's rules are the best that if you follow them, to don't raise. If you follow VC's rules, you will lose the money. This is how it works. Generally, we need to accept. I will speak later about that. And now, very interesting thing. Now it's now starting to be interesting. Does somebody of you do a cold calling ever? Nice. To the businesses? Yes.
Business owners, corporate companies from the switch,
Perfect.
getting up all the verticals.
Sounds good. Perfect. So when you reach out and when you call some boss, is that in some cases, do you have situation where secretary take a call?
Of course.
Of course. Okay. What do you selling?
I used to do B2B selling, so I was forced to go to the switch desk, which was usually a huge conference call center of like 20 receptionists.
Okay.
So I had to get through all of them to get to the manager.
Oh, good.
To get to the
Nice.
Marketing, yeah.
Perfect. And so let me explain you what will happen if secretary bring a call, telephone, and you start to sell secretary all feature and everything technical that the decision maker can have from you.
She'll say, send an email, and that email will go to spam, and she won't ever read it. And
Yes.
she won't talk to you.
Exactly. You know, why is that?
Because first of all, she doesn't know this. She doesn't have experience on that. She's actually most likely a mother, and she's working this job because her husband doesn't give her enough money, or she's recently divorced, and so the least thing she cares about is this feature that you're going to sell to her.
Or
But also,
she's just a hire as a gatekeeper.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
What I
she-
wanted
More
to say.
professional.
Yes,
response.
more professional response. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So when we come back, I need to come back. Okay, so what's happening here? If we raise $100 million fund, you and me, okay, we raise 100 million, and we said, okay, we want to invest $500,000 per company. So we need to invest in 50 companies. To invest with 50 companies, we need to review 1,000 decks. And you and I don't have time to reviewing a deck. It's not our job. We need to scale the fund, speak with LPs, help portfolio companies to grow. What we do, we said, okay, we have investment thesis, set of rules that with what companies we want to speak. We will now hire analyst and give him or her a rule that he or her should follow. Their job is to find the good deals, based on our rules, select those deals. Whatever are not relevant, out. What are relevant, they will present us and connect us with us. Why? Because we have interest to work with those companies, because if we sell those companies, we will make money. Okay? Okay. So, the same situation as secretary receive a salary for reviewing what boss give them and accept only those offers that make sense from the founders and callers that have some sympathy. also very important part. The same way analyst works. They don't care if you sell the company, right? They have salaries, KPIs, and a set of rules that they need to follow. And this is their job. So what's happened when you pitch some features to the secretary? See you, I will send you mail, blah, blah, blah. What's happened when you pitch your fund and vision to the analyst and associate? Here is what's happened. Usually founders that speak, they know what they're speaking. And they're speaking with analysts who is maybe new, who don't know exactly like the founder know, that after 15 minutes become confused. Okay? Yes. So why? Because founders speak about technical things, vision, a lot of not important things to the people that receive salary to check if the company is relevant to the thesis. And what's happened? Do you think, for example, that this secretary come to the boss and say, I have a
good deal for you.
well, for example, I have a great call, but I don't know what they're speaking to me.
But he's a nice guy.
He's a nice guy. What will happen with this secretary? He will say, man, please, concentration, I don't, it's useful. And why do you think that if you pitch tech to the analyst, that he will come to the partners and said, we have one interesting deal, but do you think that that happened? No. They just said, because they are normal people, and said, okay, I will come back to you later. When I speak with the partners, after that you receive the generic email where they love your deal. You're the best deal ever, but currently it's outside of their thesis. And what will happen really? They didn't speak because you did a bad job. You sell a feature to the secretary. This is the reason. So let me now come back of the how usually this conversation works in a real time. So this is the things that usual analysts want to understand from the call. This is the most important thing. They want to know your revenue, your round, your valuation, cap table, maybe, maybe not, market, problem solution, current clients and pipeline, how much money you can make them, it's not too important. Your background and are you legitimate? You understand me? And whether the industry stage and check size match their criteria. So what we speak about the thesis. And you will see when you speak with analysts, their position is that they are waiting for the keywords and noting down. So you will see people who just do this because importing data into the CRM so they can bring to the partner meeting. And when you speak about your vision and the technical future, best in the world, it's not on the list, and you confuse them. Confused buyer is not the buyer. This is the main thing about the sales. No, please.
Very, very important question. So analysts should be incentivized by something.
Okay.
You said some KPIs.
Yeah.
What are those KPIs? It's important to know what they need and what they're looking for so you can...
Perfect question. Perfect question. Some KPIs can be bring me 15 deals per week. So when you set up expectation to speak with them, and you say, okay, finally I will get investment. For some of them, it's just a KPI. Hard true, but it's true. So the goal for the analyst, for every associate, first of all, I respect those positions. They know about how to evaluate. They know. However, their interest is not to understand your vision. Your job when you speak with analysts is to help them understand your business good enough and prove them that you are relevant with their thesis. Help them to entry on a partner meeting. Your job is to get a ticket to the due diligence, not to sell analyst company. Doesn't work. A lot of founders do that, believe me. They are entry emotional, they just speak, cannot. So this is the main thing. And we will now cover what is the yeah, this is usually how the pitch call works, usually. So small talk, what is the weather, yeah, something, little things. Next thing is an analyst said, okay, I will explain you quick about the company, about the fund. They explain in 1-2 minutes. Founder doesn't listen them. They are just prepared to do a monologue. After they finish, yeah, no question about the founder at all. And the most, oh my God, the biggest mistake ever, maybe a little controversial, but I will say it. Sentence, okay, I will now share the deck and let's go. And you enter into the 90% of people that start pitching. It's not a good way. You enter the pitch deck, you start pitching about the tech, analysts get confused. After 10 minutes, he already starts thinking about his wife. Exactly, other project, or okay, you will see, you speak and they don't understand everything because you confuse them. You speak 25 minutes. After that, you will see also last 5 minutes of the call, they are starting watching in the watch, in the right corner, because they have a next meeting. After that, they didn't understand nothing and told you, okay, I will speak with the founder. They don't speak with the founder, and after that, write you this generic email. And this is the 90% of the situation, how it works. And to be honest, this is a second worst thing that you can have. I will speak after about the one, but definitely it's not the way how you should structure it. Your goal first is to qualify investor. You make them returns to the LPs. You. Problem in sales is because people that are selling are usually inferior to the buyer. Why? Because buyer have money. And this is the same thing with the VC. You sell a company, they have money, you have 4 months of runway, you begging, they shoot you. This is how it works. So first, I qualify investor. There is 2 reasons. First of all, you need to become equal. You need to become equal. People don't give money to somebody who don't respect you. And if they don't respect you, they don't respect you because you beg, you talk, you don't ask. This is why. So you need to qualify them. I choose you. First thing, and second thing, is because the worst thing that you can have if you don't qualify the investor, to have the VC who mentioned, I'm VC, I invest, I am Superman, enter into the due diligence, spend 3 months, and after 3 months, understand that they don't have funds, they use your project to pitch their LPs, get money, they fail to receive money, and they just told you, well, you're not inside our thesis. You want to, I saw situation, believe me guys. So you need to qualify them, ask tough questions. First call is not to speak about the company, it's to make ground for discussion and negotiation. Help them to have all important information for IC and buy your ticket in the due diligence with the right investor.
Sorry, what is IC?
IC investment committee. It's a 1 per week, or I don't know, maybe, 1 per week usually, where there is all partners, analysts that pitch those partners all interesting opportunity that match thesis. Okay? So, yes. Now we will cover a good structure, and as I mentioned before, if you follow VC system, you will not raise money. And here is a couple of proof for that. There is a lot, but I will point 3. Do you see this? Fill the form, and we will take every deck seriously. And after that, you go to the Google and see that 85% of the deals close with a warm intro. What form? What seriously? First confusion. Second, I like this one. We have a streamlined process of 3 meetings before decision. It takes 2 months and we have everything settled. But But in a real world, due diligence is the following. So, it's a 15 minimum virtual coffees where jump please on the quick call, I need to understand something. Somebody is sick in the process, somebody is slow, somebody is out of office because of the travel. Big email thread where we exchange thousands of data, thousands of documents, and always take a longer than they said. Always. So only one thing is certain. If you are not exited founder, have a huge background, it will take longer than you think. This is true. And yeah, third one, also very interesting, share the deck and I will follow the process. That means I will sleep and think about my wife after 10 minutes after you speaking about the tech. This is it. So yeah, don't follow VC. Don't follow VC. They told you one thing and after that they invest in somebody on a free times they meet on the coffee. So this is how they work and this is how they think. You just need to be aware of that. So the first thing you should do on the call is to, okay, you speak with the analyst, associate, and tell, listen, I see about the fund, I see what you're doing, but tell me more about you. Tell me more about how you, so young, entry into the VC. Do you plan to be there, or you're just seasonal job and want to explore? You need to understand with who you speak. This is the first one. Second thing is to tell him if you're in the audio tech space, to tell him, listen, we build a complex algorithm in audio tech. Do you know something about the industry? Or I need to use simple terms. You need to understand how much knowledge person have. And about you first, there is some myth. I don't know, maybe you know about this one, but if you call secretary by the name, they more like you because it's not position, it's a name. So believe me, if you speak with the analyst, associate, and ask him, tell me more about you. Tell me more about you, let's speak. You will have a much better intro, believe me. Second is qualification and digging about the fund. So here is the thing. You told them, okay, to be very precise and not waste time, I want to understand your current position, okay? And start asking questions. Tell me about your thesis. I want to understand everything about what you need. Who are your LPs? Do you have some corporation that can be our clients in the future if you invest in us? Is you fully committed? Do you already have funds or you're now in the process of chasing LPs? If you don't have funds available, let's stop now. What kind of returns do you targeting? Do you have some specific, my business can make 50x. If it's a deal breaker, no reason why to proceed further. What is your process timeline? You receive information and add 30% longer process for your expectation because this is how it works. Maybe you can put some compliment on portfolio company. I like your portfolio because of this and that. And what do you like about our deck? You see the deck. Is there anything that we want to discuss in more details? So qualify them, ask them questions, let them explain you where they are. And after that, when you receive these questions, next thing, what you do is to explain your company and pitch that founder used 30 minutes for that. Should be done after 2 minutes. We are this. This is our company. This is what we are building. We mention some big names like Amazon, Google. We mention what we are doing. We mentioned what is our market. We mentioned the real problem. Current solution take 8 weeks and cost 300K, and we did it in 50 seconds. Done pitching. Okay, when you tell that, ask them, please, let's discuss. We do that. Do you have any questions? Or what information you additionally need to hop on the next IC prepared? Ask them. Because when you ask them, you are in the 2% of the pitching they have. Let me share what you need for the IC. So this is the end of the pitch. Questions. And the next thing, I think please don't do this. This is the main information because I don't know what this company is doing. It is the same what I shared earlier, but using some complex term. When you're using your complex term, you only maybe, I don't know, build your ego because you speak a lot and that, or you think that VC know, but they don't know everything. They are sometimes confused, tired. They are people, human, they cannot understand everything. So, yeah, main thing about the pitch call is a selection, disqualification, and request for no. One question, do you have a co-founders? No, okay. Anybody here have a co-founder? Perfect. When you speak with your co-founder before, for example, you had a same vision, you understand everything, but he told you, okay, let's do it together. I will have 95% of the company, you will have 5%. What you will tell him? It's not realistic, deal breaker. I want 50-50, maybe 30-70, but you will work harder than myself, okay? So this is how it works when you work with a co-founder. So if fundamentals are not on the ground, there is no deal. Fundamentals here are the thesis and what VC wants. And your job on the first call is to find fundamentals, see if it's alignment, and save you a lot of time in the future. This is the first thing. Second thing, no, believe me, no on the first call is the best possible answer after yes. The worst answer is what happened to my client. It's funny but sad story. He rejected after 4 months of everyday due diligence.
Oh my God.
He flight into the Paris to meet the team. He reject a lot of people to make this group to invest, and after that they reject him after business model. So, listen, after 4 months, they reject you after business model. First thing that investor need to understand, fundamentals. One of the fundamentals. Second is valuation and everything. But your job is to discuss very precisely. And the third more important thing is to bring no on the table. For this, you should have courage. It's not easy. But when you hear that VC told you, we invest in companies with more than 1 million in revenue, okay? And you have 800K. Your job is to VC, listen, to be very honest with you, we have 800K, good potential to have more than 1 million. But if it's a problem because we have 800K, let's stop here. Why? Because you will see that VC now will give you explanation why this is not a problem. And it is possible that they mention, yeah, well, but we can start maybe due diligence and when you expect to have. It's a much more better that you address problem when he's there and help him to understand, find a solution, to together find a solution, then if you, it's okay, maybe they will invest, maybe they will not see. And after that, there is one objective partner that said 800K, let's go. So whatever you find a problem on the call, ask them, listen, I don't have feeling. I see that you invest in North America. We have entity in North America, but we are all based in Norway. If this is a problem, let's stop. If I'm in your city, let's speak, but let's stop the business. Believe me. It's a... Exactly. Because they used to it, to get everything good, all are the people pleaser, all smart. No, I know your thesis, I don't want to waste my time. If it's a no, please tell me now. And provoke them. It's interesting, but yeah, your job on the first call is to find a no. And there is all no, all yes, after you provoking no, you're good. You're good. So, yeah, this is it. And yeah, what I think that it make more sense about the deal, first 10 to 12 minutes, I picking you, not you me. I want to see if you are the investor for me. I want to become an equal. 3 minutes I will explain you what I'm doing and tell you, let's prepare on the IC, if you see that makes sense, ask me questions, and I want to note it down all things that based on your thesis, I think it's not relevant for us. So let's address this thing first, and if we pass that, we have a lot of time in due diligence to speak about technology, a lot of time. Let's not waste first impression, and let's do it on a right way. So this is my suggestion, and you know, last 5 minutes is best if you can keep VC to drink a little water, you know, because it's exhausting from meeting to meeting. Give them 5 minutes, they will appreciate this. So, yeah, this is not important. Okay. Any questions? Please.
So you get the money,
Okay.
and then like at what point is okay to get out? Like after 6 months, after a year, like.
Well, you know, there usually depends on the strategy. For example, private equity want to invest, want to buy out in a 2-3 years. VC depends if they invest in a seed, it can be 5 to 7 years. Okay. If they invest in Series A, it can be 3 to 4 years. Depends for the exit. However, there is an option of secondary shares. Do you know about secondary shares? I will give you an example. I invest in a company. They grow from C to Series A and make 3x for me. So I invest 2 million, I have 6 million, for example. And they want to plan to grow further, but I want to liquidate my shares and tell you, sell you my 2 million of the company, and you can invest in company, but through me, okay? I can sell 2 million, so I'm exited, I return my investment, you enter into the company, and if you like the company can scale further, okay? And you can also make money. So it's exit, IPO, or secondary shares that can be in the meantime.
From what I heard, like, I mean, this is all for very young people. Like if you're like gambling with your time for the next like 5 to 7 years, it sounds for me like it's not like if you're like older than 25 or 6. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. And then I have one question, like you're not able, whatever you do, like whatever your great idea that is going to make world a better place, like you can't match like great corporations. Like they have like a budget and anything. Like tomorrow your idea becomes like a feature in ChatGPT. Like.
Exactly. All these big corporations are your potential buyers, you know, but you can make a big money in the VC when you enter earning, you know. For example, take a look in RMBB. So when you invest in them, they increase thousands of times from their investment. And because of that, this risk definitely makes sense. And if I understand you about the age, well, you know, average age about the industry from broker side to startup founder side to investor side is not 20. It's much more. For example, there is a founder, I think usual average age for a unicorn founder is 35, and average for generally founder is 40 and something. Founder that have an idea, because in a lot of situations, founders are technical person, somebody who work in energy industry for 15 years. They find a gap, something that don't work traditionally. They invent a software and target those industry because they understand this industry. Usually this is the profile.
I see. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other question?
Is there a difference between secondary shares and preferential shares?
Yes. Preference share, this is important for the exit, okay? Preference shares are, when it's a liquidation process, you have preference shares, I have regular shares. You will first get money, than me. This is the first. And secondary is current shareholder sell their shares. If I have 2 million in the company that I invest 3 years ago, I come to Marco and say, Marco, do you want to buy 1 million of those shares because I need the liquidity? Not because the company is bad, but I want to buy a house. And this is a secondary share, investor to investor transaction, and primary is a company investor transaction. So when money goes to the company, when Marco give me 1 million, whole million come to in my pocket, not in the company budget. Okay?
And usually preferential shares, if the LP is backed by a pension fund, then they're likely going to already push for preferential.
Yes,
Right?
good
Yeah.
point, but not only if LP is somebody, it is negotiable. And not only for LP, but also for VC. You know, this is the all things that can be negotiated.
So, European Union now starts having LPs, they just invest money, right,
Yep.
to grow and innovate the technology of Europe in general.
Yep.
Are these also kind of obliging with the same return percentages, like Forex and stuff, or they're like pure?
Yeah, very good point. And their motivation is not only returns. Their motivation is to stabilize economy, growth, new innovation. So they don't care too much if it's a Forex or not. They have an unlimited budget. So it's a more situation for a private person that wants this money for, his own gain. But I don't know, a lot of money in Europe come from European Union fund. You're right. But it's not because of the profit.
Do you guys work with this European Union fund?
Yeah, but through the innovation fund here. For example, Serbia have innovation fund, and they in the last 3 years give 5 million to the people that want to raise funds here. Now, because of the tariffs, Trump, and all unstable about the current economy, they pull out from this program. But yeah, Serbia, if you want to raise the fund and have 5 million, Serbia government will give you 5 more million. Good, you know. But they are also LPs. And for example, rule for the Serbia grant is that you need to invest 140% of their investment into the Serbian companies. And, you know, so if I have $10 million fund, I need to invest 7 million into the Serbia, and 3 million I can invest wherever I want. So this is their goal, to stabilize Serbian economy and to invest in a new innovation.
Do they give you restrictions of where you can spend that money?
Of course.
You have to hire Greeks, you have to hire Serbians.
Of course.
You have to hire
Regarding, yes, about the main position it should be, but also for advisors, for venture partners, you can hire somebody else. However, if you work on a Serbian market, you have interest to hire people that are from Serbia and that have presence on Serbian market. So you can have a lot of deal flow and everything. Yep. Okay. Maybe I can sit a little. I think it's like... Okay, guys, just a couple of things, and I will be quick since we cover a lot of things. Marco, we have time.
Yeah, we have time, like few more minutes.
Okay. Okay, so listen, we recently invested in one company called...
Are you like talking about pitch deck now?
Very short, yes.
Okay, just let me invite one more guy.
Please.
Take a small break. He needs to hear this.
Woo, okay. Break will be useful. However, yeah, until we're waiting, we invest currently in a company that is a very understandable, that's doing very real things that are supported by Samsung, Google, all big guys, really interesting company. And does anybody hear about Sequoia? Yes, Sequoia Invest. Sequoia have some small angel fund and support them in early stage too. So very, very big company with very big potential.
I also have a question.
Please.
Especially in the crypto world, because the narrative changes so quickly, and how does it work usually? Like, who chases who? Do the founders chase what VCs are looking for, or the VCs are chasing what are being built?
Good question, and thank you for asking. 98% of the founders chasing VCs, and all VCs chasing 2% of the founders. This is how it works. but this is the answer on your specific question. Usually founders chasing an investors. However, there is a lot of good performing companies that have a 5-term sheet and can pick what we see they will accept.
Yeah. So then, do VCs really know what they're doing?
Yeah, good question.
So like all those theses, do they really know this is or I guess like, how do they measure that's the
Right
qualified?
thesis.
Yeah, that's the right thesis. And because usually what I heard was the founders looking to talk to VC, selling them what they're building or asking them, are you interested in DeFi project?
Okay.
And if the VC say no, right now we're looking at gaming project. So when they say they're looking at gaming project, maybe they have a feeling that in the future or in the short term that the gaming project is going to be booming.
Yes.
But with that thesis, do they really know that's actually, I guess, do they have some sort of a pattern analysis that's going to be the next narrative? Or is more of like, okay, this AI is old now, I'm just going to throw another topic to those founders and say, I'm going to be interested in this project, another project.
This is a good question, and what is the problem there? And this is why I like syndicate, but let me answer you on this part. If VCs raise a fund that will invest in DeFi projects only, with this fund, they cannot just switch a focus and say, okay, I will now invest in a climate, because they raise money for this specific fund. This is the reason why they need to do a very proper diligence and projections and to find the area that will have a huge growing in upcoming years. Where TAM is currently 1 billion, they want to invest in sectors that in time will have a TAM of 5 billion. So they are finding and growing sectors in the next 5 to 7 years because this is a vintage and year horizon of the fund. However, on one of the previous picture, you see that one firm can have a different funds. And after they see, okay, this AI is unbelievable, they open a new funds, hire advisors for this specific fund, and raise a new money that will invest in a fund. And this is how it works with the VC. However, with syndicate group like us, we don't have an LP. We have LPs that give us money, but we can change companies and focus based on the current market. You know, our thesis is AI right now because there is a lot of demand for that. But in some cases, if there is some restrictions with AI, no worries. We have people that can give us some money and we can pitch them something that is hot nowadays.
Yeah, and I think what Luke is mentioning a lot that we talk about it is you see a lot of startups in Web3, they start as DeFi, they transform into a gaming industry, and then they transform into an AI, and then
Everyone
Yeah.
AI compatible.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's like, for me it's kind of ridiculous, like you either start and stay focused on like what you started, unless it didn't catch up, right? Unless it was absolute crap. But I see a lot of startups chasing what VCs want, like literally chasing.
This is
It doesn't sound right.
Yeah, but you're completely right, and this is a contra-effective. You know, I know a lot of VCs that when they see some AI-first company with ChatGPT integration, they was, man, please, you know, all companies nowadays are AI. Why? Because they connect ChatGPT with the AP key, and it doesn't make sense. But you're right. In some cases, pivot is good, but in some cases, that you're following trend of the VCs, I agree with you. I think that it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, pivot is good, but trend hopping is terrible.
Yeah, exactly. You know. So,
Another question.
please.
How important it is to have a lead VC? Because several projects I talked to, they got angel investors, but they are looking for the lead VC in order to close the round. So why, if they have enough or if they have good amount of money, why should they look for a lead VC?
Okay, good question. there is a several reason. First of all, in some cases, co-investors require from company to have a lead, signed term sheet, and exact terms. Why is this? If Marco have a $1 billion VC, and if Marco decide to lead your round, this will prove me, smaller investor, that there is something here when Marco invest. So big names that are, when I'm raising the round, it is a very, very good sign from other smaller checks. This is the first thing. For example, we as a syndicate group, we only invest when big VC lead a round, because we can easily sell to our investors. You know, Sequoia leading the round. Let's invest. What you are thinking. So this is a good point. I personally, I'm okay with the safe, with the instruments in the earlier stage round, since you don't have a board and you can easily run your business by yourself. Safe will be converted in Series A into the equity, and you have a full ownership in the next period. So because of the credibility, this is the first thing, and founders sometimes wanted someone lead around. For example, BMV Venture, they mentioned, we will lead around, but we will introduce you to the BMV that will increase your revenue by 300%. Please lead around. VCs know a lot of people. There is, in some cases, a lot of value add that they can bring on the table. So good VC is good. However, bad VC is a problem. When you have somebody on board that doesn't understand your industry but talk you how to run your business, so he or she can make money to the LPs, this is the problem. However, good VC, good co-founder, good partner is a good on the board, and this is the reason why people love when somebody lead around.
You also probably picked up the heavy lifting of analysis, DD, and all that.
Exactly.
It's very expensive.
Exactly. For example, this Audio Mob deal, Samsung, when they invest in them, have a due diligence of 7 months.
Corporate VC.
Yes, corporate, exactly.
Hire McKinsey and stuff, a lot of times should be-
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's a very deep, and they really want to invest in winners.
I've led some of these DDs. Sorry, you can
No. Thank you both. Thank you all for questions, and thank you for interactions. So AudioMob, we invest in AudioMob. However, you know what this company is doing. I don't know. And this is the one way to present the deck. When you put this data, analysts don't have time now to copy this data, put in the ChatGPT, translate me please. What is? No, it's a complex and complicated and doesn't have sense to. What?
It's an ad network, like they integrate ads, right? And music,
Nice, congratulations. No, you know, yeah, we understand it is in the ad industry, but you know, it's easier to explain like. So, for example, oh my God. Oh. Misclick, okay. Okay. This is the same company, and this is the company that we invest in, not in the previous one, this one. So, yeah, AudioMob puts short audio into the mobile games. They let people to play the games, and advertisers save a lot of money since people usually are very aggressive to the banners. They just want to. But if it's a small audio banner that have all the audio, and you can continue playing the game, it's much better. And for example, how they unfortunately we cannot play right now. I don't know how. But for example, what they put a real-time example. When you click this button, somebody will enter and sees how it works. 20-second window when somebody play the game, and in the game there is a small audio that play the commercial of some other advertiser. And if somebody want to mute, it's not possible because this is how technology works, and people will hear what this audio present, and because of that, a lot of advertisers make more money. This is the solution, what they're building, not this Egyptian, how to call it. So this is the way how to present and to try to create your pitch as simple as possible. Since you don't speak with VCs that understand everything, you speak with a regular guy that in some cases hungover, in some cases, run to the work, in some cases not motivated, fall in love. So a lot of situations, simplify them, put them something that is understandable. And you know your business best, and skill how to explain everything in a simple terms is a superpower, believe me. It's, not only for the raising, but for the other stuff. Okay, so what you need for a fundraising, Marco, I will be quick as possible. You need to good research, first of all. Don't just do a massive outreach to the non-qualified people that will receive your deck, and you will nothing do regarding that. There is some tools called OpenVC, Shizune, ShipShape, GetPhantom, where you can find the VCs based on their thesis. And this can help you to find a better qualified VCs. Second one, warm intro. Solana Superteam is the best example for that. For example, we know a lot of VCs that working with us, and if Marco tell them, listen to VC, listen, they are building something good, you should focus on that, it will be much better than somebody just do a cold approach. So see with who you can connect, who know people. Warm intro is a powerful thing. Outreach message, here is example. Unfortunately, we don't have so much time, but very concise message about who you are, what is the problem, expertise of the team, how much revenue you have, how much round of this is committed, and ask for a call. Simple, concrete as possible. There is a lot of emails and a lot of outreach when you receive. Nobody wants to read it. And if you ask a lot of analysts, they will confess you that they don't read deck. They want in the message to see if it's worth of the time. If you do a cold outreach, do it on the right way. Again. Okay, my suggestion is that you have two decks. One is a short for the outreach, and second is a detailed one when you already speak with a fund that shows interest, so the whole team can dig deeper. This is the short deck, okay? So, the problem, solution, market, business model, traction, team, ask. 5, 6, 7, 9 slides, enough. Very simple graphics that show you, and the simple terms that everybody will understand. Beside that, oh my God, long deck is a detailed version where they can discuss with the team after everything is explained. And when you confirm that, they will really take a look. If you send this version first and you speak about features, what unit, okay, burn rate is a good one, but some other details that is not important, they don't have time to read through the 50 or 40 slide deck. And data room, that is maybe not important for this stage. Data room is a good to collect you when you're raising Series A, that you have all historical information about the company, from financials, valuation, investor Q&A, legal, and commercial docs, and after have all these things, you're ready. Whew. So guys, thank you. This is it. Thank you for that. If somebody have any questions, I'm happy to discuss, happy to share more knowledge, and I hope that we will have time to hang out together, continue with the Superteam Balkan and some other Buildstation.
In your experience, how many, what's the percentage or something of this, maybe confident estimation, what is the percentage of investors that want control of the company? So like board seat or something like that, what is the percentage that don't want?
Oof, good question.
Sorry,
it's a very good question, and I can just give you a rough estimation. When you, family office usually want to co-invest, syndicate group always, CVC want to hear, I would say that 20% of whole investors and 30% in the VC world, my estimation.
They don't want control, they want.
they want to control. They want to lead, board seat, co-lead, lead. They want to be on the board and make strategic decisions.
Okay, that's good.
But please take a look. I'm a rough estimation, just in the head, not 100% sure.
It will depend on which type of VC a lot.
Yes, exactly. For example, regional VC, since there is a very few one, they all want to invest. Since there is a small amount of company, and they want to be sure that this company will be good. So they want to be in. But in Silicon Valley,
I have two questions. One is and one hard.
what?
One is and one hard request.
Okay, sounds good.
Which one we want first?
Harder.
Harder, okay. So in the beginning you said about kind of gotchas of the risk aversion of VCs taking advantage of you.
Okay.
You mentioned throughout your speech one example of C getting you closer to the burn rate,
Yeah.
and the burn date, and just screw you over by saying
Yeah.
high value you have now. So that's one example. Do you have more? Is there a whole new conversation?
Yeah, it's a whole new conversation, but let's think about two. I mentioned one more, where VC doesn't have money, okay, and they need your portfolio. They need to speak about your company, about the LPs, because their main goal is to show LPs that they have a lot of portfolios. And because they are friendly then, want to speak with you, but after they really receive the money, they do this with the 30 companies. And after that, they will, after first closing, invest in 2. And you will get information, outside of the thesis and some other.
So that's on the syndicate side.
No, but syndicate told you, syndicate, when somebody is syndicate. But problem is when VC present themselves as a VC, but they're syndicate in the back end. This spend a lot of time, literally.
And theses are public in general?
But what?
Their theses are public?
Usually, yeah, you can find on the website. However, the best and deeper thesis you will find when you go deeper. You will find about the industry and everything, but when you're on the call, you can find out about financial thesis, profit margin metric, revenue concentration, and some other data.
And this deck is shareable?
This is a commercial docs, so
No, the whole presentation.
yeah, I will share. I will share with Marco, and after that he can share with all others.
Awesome, thanks man.
Okay.
Question about
Yeah, thank you. Nice to meet you all.
We can go for
Yeah.
You ask the questions more
This
personally.
is a great question because
Please. I will listen.
yes, so syndicate group. Now we're talking about all the species and their pieces, but about LPs.
Okay.
When you have the syndicate group, do you also screen the LPs that actually are providing the funds? Do you have to qualify them?
Of course, very good question. Because, yeah, you know what you don't like? To enter somebody without money and pitch your syndicate group that have money with their own project. And this happened. So you need to qualified person to have money. And we always want to speak with them to see their previous investment, available capital, and after that to see if it makes sense to put them in the group. Because we don't want to have person that will be there and, selling her or his product to your LPs.
Then when you qualify them, is there a regulation that put into place, such as different country has capital gains, that kind of regulation from foreign countries or?
No, you know what? We have a regulation. We do KYC on all of them. If they want to invest, they need to go through the process to see that they are real, that bank account is not restricted. However, based on the tax, this is their job. We don't pay taxes. For example, if somebody have offshore on Gibraltar, they will have 0 taxes. If somebody have account in Europe, they will have, in Serbia, they will have 15% gain. So, but this is based on them.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. thank you guys again for all, and yeah, see you next time.
Thank you. That was great, exciting.
Yes, really enjoyed it.
Nice to hear that.
I would love to connect with you. Are you based in Serbia?
I'm based in Serbia, yes.
Okay, because I'm also working with some founders and builders. They are mainly like local, but on
Okay.
in a like just in general Web3.
Okay.
Most of them are women.
Okay.
And also I heard that women always want to support each other regarding fundraising, but
Yes.
2 out of 100 actually fundraised, so they don't really know all those details. Would I be able to connect with you, and
Yeah,
maybe
sure.
in the future you can also do a, like maybe virtual kind of session?
Sounds
for-
good. This will be great. Yeah, let's
Yes.
exchange LinkedIn
And
if you want.
Yeah. And do you use a Telegram or LinkedIn?
Yeah, I also have a Telegram.
Whatever is better. I think LinkedIn is much more professional for this.
Yeah, I like because I use LinkedIn for the most of conversations. So yeah, let
Yeah.
me.
So the physical hub is in Greece. I don't know how easy it will be for you if you ever travel to Greece.
Yeah, I can travel if you think that it will be more effective. If it's in person, happy
Yeah.
to go. It's always something that I would love to do.
Because this is something I really want to provide. That's a great education content for like all those founders. Especially right now, I'm looking for like the knowledgeable VCs to give education to those female founders.
Okay.
Because I met a lot of them, just like what you said, it's very typical female founders who are chasing VCs. Ask them, are they interested in this type of project? And a lot